Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astroguide Mysore. So this is class number 3 of the Avasthas of planets. I have been doing the Avasthas of planets as per the Brihat Parasara Hora Shastra, and this is actually the classes. This is not any prediction. This is for people who learn and to understand what planet is doing in the chart and what is the status of the planet. The state of a planet is very important to understand whether it is giving you results and what sort of results will it give, whether the intensity of the results are high or low. This can be understood. So this level is about the 9 major avasthas. The 9 major avasthas are Deeptha, that is deep exaltation; Swastha, when planet is placed in the own sign; Pramudita, when it is placed in the extreme friend sign. I'll explain one by one. Shanta, that is peaceful, when it is placed in the friend sign. Deena, it's in the mediocre level when it is placed in the neutral sign. And there are Dukhita, that is sorrowful in state. Dukhita is when the planet is sorrowful in state, when it is in the enemy's sign. Vikhala and Khala, that is they are injured. Vikhala with a malefic in conjunction, and the 8th one is Khala when it is in a malefic sign, and it also has to be inauspicious house for the ascendant. Kopa, that is angry, when it is combust or very near to sun. So the first 3 avasthas, Deeptha, deep exaltation, we all know that sun gets exalted in the sign of Aries, moon gets exalted in the sign of Taurus, Mars gets exalted in the sign of Capricorn, then Mercury gets exalted in the sign of Virgo, its own sign, but still it gets exalted there only. And then you have Jupiter, which gets exalted in the sign of Cancer. You have Venus, which gets exalted in the sign of Pisces. Then Saturn, which gets exalted in the sign of Libra. And Rahu and Ketu get exalted in between the signs of Taurus and Gemini for Rahu, and Scorpio and Sagittarius for Ketu. So this is called Deeptha. Very strong position for a planet, and this is regarded as the topmost. Here, the Mula Trikona Sthana of a planet is not referred. That is also an avastha. We will discuss about it especially separately. So this particular position, when the planet is in deep exaltation, it will give full results, 100% results. Now again, if it is retrograde, there is a manifestation of other factors which will get into the picture. Transformation of the planet. We are not discussing about it now. Swastha, when it is in its own sign, obviously when moon is in Cancer or Saturn is in Aquarius or Mars is in Aries, obviously it will give rise to Raja Yogas. If it is in Kendra or Trikona, Upachaya, depending on the planet which is sitting. If Saturn is in the 6th house and its own house, obviously it will give a very strong 6th house. So the same way, Swastha will give full results. Once again, in all these things, we need to see the temporary friendship and the Panchadika Mitratva, the natural friendship and temporary friendship both mixed together. Whether a neutral plus enemy becomes an enemy, enemy plus enemy becomes a bitter enemy, friend plus a friend becomes a extreme friend. We need to see the Panchadika Mitratva. I have done the classes on this. Please go through that. Pramudita Avastha, that is when it is in extreme friend sign. That means naturally it should be a friend and also temporary. That means for that horoscope, it should be a friend. So you need to see that two planets when the planet is placed in a extreme friend sign, that is the owner of the sign in which the planet is placed, that is the sign which is owned by, like for example, Saturn and Venus. For that particular horoscope, if Venus is placed in Aquarius, then it is said to be in Pramudita Avastha. If for that horoscope in the Panchadika Mitratva, Venus and Saturn are extreme friends. Shanta, that happens when it is in a friend sign, not an extreme friend. It's like neutral and friend become a friend. So, it gives medium results now. The first three, Deeptha, Swastha, Pramudita, give full results. Shanta, Deena. Deena is when it is in a neutral sign. That is, once again, if you see, neutral plus neutral will become neutral in the Panchadika Mitratva. So, it will be Deena. Okay. So, next coming is Dukhita Avastha, when it is in a sorrowful state. This is a place where planet is not that happy. Maybe it's a benefic planet for your horoscope. Maybe it's a Yoga Karaka for your horoscope. It's the fifth lord, the ninth lord, sitting in a strong 10th house, but it is an enemy sign. Let us say it's an enemy sign. Obviously, the fifth lord or the ninth lord, when it is posited in the 10th house, it will give Dharma Karma Adipati Yoga, but it is a medium result. It will have difficulties to give. That means there are hurdles which the planet is going through or facing. That's the same thing is transferred to the native. The other three, the Vikhala, Khala and Kopa. I'll talk about Kopa later. Vikhala and Khala, when they are, distorted or it is injured, it is Vikhala and Khala means that as though the planet has lost a limb. It is not performing well because it is, in a very bad state. It is when it is with a malefic conjunction, and when a planet is in a malefic sign and is in inauspicious house. So let us discuss this. What is a planet when it is with a malefic conjunction? So for example, let us say for the sign of Aries, moon is an extreme benefic because it's the fourth lord. If it is posited in the fifth house, we call it a beautiful placement for excellent education, going into chemistry or many other textile industries. They do very well as readers, poets, professors. But if the same moon is posited along with Saturn in the fifth house, it becomes Vikhala. That means a close conjunction of moon and Saturn, let us say within 8 to 10 degrees. Within that, if it is placed in the sign of Leo, I'm just taking an example so that you will understand what is Vikhala. It is said that moon is in the Vikhala state and it will not perform at all. It will go into the negative. Next, Khala, that is, let us say that in the same example, in the Aries, moon goes to the 8th house. That is the sign of Mars itself, but still, the fourth lord has gone to the 8th house. It is an inauspicious house, the Triksthana, or it goes to the 6th house, that is in Virgo. And then it is a malefic sign for moon. If it is a malefic sign, that means if the relationship of moon and Mercury in that particular horoscope is bad, let us say they are in 6-8 position from each other, or they are not friends because Mercury treats moon as an enemy. So moon treats Mercury as a neutral, but that is natural friendship. But if you see the temporary friendship for that horoscope, and if you see that they both are negatively placed, they are far away from each other, so that means it is in a Khala position or Khala state, which is also negative as per the Brihat Parasara Hora Shastra. Kopa, combust. So now people will keep asking me questions like, Mercury and Venus are very close to Sun always. Does it mean that they are always Kopa? They are not Kopa. but they are always impatient. Venus and Mercury are like on the boiling point. So that is Kopa. Now people will ask me, now the next question would be that what would happen in an Amavasya when moon is close to sun? Like all other planets, moon, when it comes close to sun, when it comes close to sun, it is not set to get combust, but it is an Amavasya. There is a pure name for it. So that becomes a very strong position. I have spoken in detail about Amavasya. So people who want to go through that, please go through that class. It's a very detailed class on Amavasya, particularly for people who are born on Amavasyas or in Prathami, that is in between that 15 degrees from 12 degrees on either side of sun. It's an excellent class for you people to understand what is that particular combination and what are the results for that combination. So for these three last Vikhala, Khala and Kopa Avasthas, there is negligible or nil result from that particular planet. So these are the 9 major avasthas, Navavasthas of Brihat Parasara Hora Shastra. Thank you very much for today's class.